There it goes.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Topher right here on Geek Public Radio. How are you doing this fine evening? I am doing fantastic.
We are jazzed.
We are having a great time. We just got off of last weekend being rained on.
Flooded in the woods.
And whatnot. What we got our movie done.
We did.
And we have a whole lot more that we're going to talk about right here on
Geek Public Radio.
You're listening to the GPR podcast, where two old guys, talk about new games, movies, most things geeky, and generally be old in front of your eyes. Not cool. Now, here's Topher and Crazy Chris, being all old.
Being all old, we are right here on Geek Public Radio.
What is up, everybody? I am Crazy Chris.
I am Tofa,
the paranormal hobo. Director, writer, producer, archaeologist, paranormal psychologist. Not really. I don't know if he's actually that, but we're just going to say
I do
he
have
is.
a psychology degree.
Yeah, I know. And you do paranormal stuff. So you are, in fact, a paranormal psychologist, and you are an official Ghostbuster. Congratulations. You did it. You've made it the big time.
We're here to believe you.
Oh, my God, man. So, crazy week, crazy weekend, last weekend in particular. Hopefully everybody is enjoying Star Wars time. It is May the 4th, May the 5th, May the 6th, May the 7th. All the crazy May days that have to do with the sequels. I've heard, obviously, May the 4th be with you.
Revenge of the 5th.
What? So apparently it's now called Revenge of the 6th. And instead it's, May the 5th has got a different connotation now, and I don't remember what it is. But it's Revenge of the 6th is actually what it's supposed to be. And it's, I don't remember what the May the 5th one is, but May the 7th, they've got all kinds of different, like all the way up to like May 12th or something like that. It's ridiculous. But for all you Star Wars fans out there, Star Wars fanboys out there, and fangirls, of course, happy Star Wars week to all of you, because Star Wars Day is apparently just not a thing anymore. May the dorks be with you always.
My favorite thing for the week was the cargo ship that was upside down, like heading down, and it said De Mayo on the.
Yeah. Cinco de Mayo.
My wife was like, I don't get it. It was like sinking de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. Anyways, if you guys are out there getting hammered drunk right now, we do hope that everybody is being responsible and safe. But if you want to be irresponsible and you want to be unsafe, make sure you click the like button and subscribe to the channel. We have all kinds of not safe things to share with you guys. Always make sure you go to geekpublicradio.com. You can check out some of the archived footage that we have, as well as some of the articles that we write. As far as pop culture is concerned, we write reviews for movies, games, books, CDs, anything that you, I'm sorry, God, I dated myself. We are old. Music and things of the ilk you can find right there on geekpublicradio.com. If you would be so inclined, we would absolutely love it if you'd also ring-a-lingy-dingy the belly button so you can be notified every single time that we go live. You can find us on Twitch, YouTube, where I'm sure most of you are watching. We also are all on Facebook, all across the spectrum. Every social media platform, we try to be there for you to bring you live entertainment.
Yes, I am on the spectrum.
Yeah. That's the greatest part about being a nerd, is that that's where most of us actually fall. But we do have some cool news to talk about other than the movie that we were on. I will start with some really simple stuff. Tiny Tina's is releasing a brand new update, which will include updates to two of the more not so great classes, specifically blues the Berserker and the Spore Warden will be getting some buffs to their classes.
Did you call them a Berserker?
It's a Berserker.
Yeah, it sounded like you said the Berserker.
The Berserker. They'll be getting some upgrade, and the Spore Warden will be getting some upgrades as well. As always, the Clawbringer class is absolutely the most broken, and the Graveborn is just out of control. It is a super, super fun game if you have not had a chance to check out Gearbox's and 2K's new offering of Tiny Tina Wonderlands. Make sure you check that out. It's super, super cool game. You can find all kinds of pop culture references, and if you are a fan of the series, you will love, love, love the game. I have been enjoying my time very, very much. But Topher, let's talk about this weekend, man, because it was absolutely insane. We got flooded out on Saturday. We were doing some late night shooting, some great shots, some absolutely beautiful footage we managed to achieve. And of course, any movie shoot outdoors would not be complete without the gods of thunder, lightning, and torrential downpour opening up their gates to us.
Yes, Kiss apparently decided to make their appearance.
It was insane.
Now I have that stuck in my head. I'm over here like, God.
Yeah. It was. I had a blast. Obviously, shooting with you guys. I would like to apologize for the cast and crew. I was late on Sunday, so this is my official apology, guys. You won't hear it from me very often because I'm a very proud man, but I do stand before you humbly, apologizing for my performance on Sunday. I was late to the shoot. I was specific. Everybody was beat down really bad.
Sunday.
But Saturday just wiped me completely out.
My favorite thing.
It was terrible.
My favorite thing is we have new additions to the game room.
We do.
So if we ever do any lives or anything back down in the game room, you may be able to see certain things from the movie up on our wall and whatnot.
Yes, we did.
I was going to put it in here, but we have no room.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. We'll have to do the tour actually of the new studio like we did on TikTok before. We'll have to put that up on our TikTok page where people can actually see the actual studio space that we work with. So that way people would actually understand why when we say there's no room in here.
Like that's why I started putting stuff on the door,
right?
Because all of the wall spaces are taken.
Yeah, my holy shit man signed posters over there. So hey, I love that movie. I love the guys from Spitfire. And they were so cool.
Holy shit, man!
It was awesome. And of course, special thanks to Jeff and Mike again. A couple weeks ago, they came out and sat with us and did the live testing of their game. That was super amazing.
So much fun.
They hit, I think, 3 of the 4 stretch goals. They might have hit the 4th one. I'm not. I know
100%. They were close to the 4th one.
They were really close. I wouldn't even be surprised if Jeff was like, you know what? But we had a lot of fun with that. And as far as the movie's concerned, obviously we can't talk a whole lot about the things that we were doing. But huge shout out to Super Grip, Chris Eddy, for pulling through clutch and on Sunday morning being down in the bog. Super Dave, pulling all of our stuff out of the drink. It was it was incredible.
No, not to talk about the movie itself, but no, we were all shooting something and it started just to rain or whatever. We're like, oh, okay. And by the time we got back to the tent, there was already like a foot of water.
It was nuts.
Sitting in the tent.
And we weren't very far from the camp either. Like, that's the thing. As we were shooting, we weren't terribly far away. I think maybe 30 yards from where we were actually filming.
So like the whole production tent.
I'm glad I told you to I looked at you and you were so into it. You were so focused and the scene was so good. And I was like, there's no way.
Well, I mean, the lightning went off and it was like, okay, we can't shoot with the lightning.
Right.
So,
and I was like, I think we should go. And you just look at me and you're like, I could see it in your face. You were so upsetty spaghetti that we had to go because the shot was lining up to look so great. And so perfect.
I think that I got it pretty seamless, though.
I do.
mean, we shot in 2 different days, and I started throwing stuff together, and I think we got
it worked out really well. 100%.
I don't think you could tell the difference.
Not at all. Actually, because I obviously being in it and shooting with you, I saw the transitions, and I know what was shot when. So seeing it as a complete entity and like watching it move through, obviously rough cut, but watching it walk through like that, I was like, you couldn't tell. You really couldn't tell the difference between those shots at all. So it was beautiful, and I'm super excited for this thing to come out. I know it's going to be another year, but I'm
probably 2.
Bite your tongue.
Because we have 3 more sections to film to get the feature.
I know, and then we need the big guy. Once we get the big guy, that's going to be the. I
would like to have 2 films done before, or 2 sections of the film done before we shoot his. That way we shoot his and then we get the last one done and it's boom, off to the races. Everybody's, we start promoting the hell out of it.
Super stoked. It is going to be a little bit, but obviously I'm looking forward to this one being finished and seeing it.
Unless somebody out there is interested in help us make a movie.
Yeah, let's make more movies.
Then,
help us.
Message us and we will make really, really cool stuff.
Also, guys, don't forget too that while we are in the middle of a live, you can join us in the live chat room. We can actually see what you guys are saying. So if you want to ask us questions or if you want to throw anything our general direction, we will respond on there. I am generally pretty good about that. I know Topher is as well. So if you guys want to interact with us, this is a great way to do it while we are live.
I have that song still stuck in my head. I'm over here like,
It's a great song. It's the Greta Van Fleet tune.
Yeah.
And it's a highway. It's actually called Highway Tune.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And for the shot that you put it on where we were talking about, and
now we just have to work out the licensing. But like,
yeah. But it hasn't been released, so we're not in copyright violation or anything yet.
Right.
It's just it was something to throw in there. We threw it in there. It looks great. It sounds amazing. Especially thanks to Dave for those shots too. By the way, those are so good. I know we guys are talking about all this, so we can't show it to anybody. We're like, hey, we did all this cool stuff. I can't see it.
Right.
But I did have a lot of fun, man. Rutledge came through. I thought we put on a pretty good show. And I honestly feel like it looks phenomenal. I like the way it looks. Everybody did a great job.
You got to see like the cut that I have so far of
the rough cut.
Yeah. The all 17 minutes, and I still have the middle to cut to edit.
Which made me laugh when you told me that. You were like, it's already at 17 minutes. And I'm like, nuh-uh. No way. But you're sitting there watching it. I was like, oh my God, it is.
Like you're like, oh, all those other shots are just going to be. I was like, no, we're still going
to put them in there. They still got to go in.
Like, oh, this is going to be like 30 minutes.
And I bet you we'll be real close. I guarantee. This is my prediction. I think we're going to be right about 26, 27 minutes for the entirety of this flick, which is great. It's great for me. Great for me. It was great for me.
And it helps to round out the numbers when we get the other sections done.
Yeah.
And
100%.
If they come in around 20, 25 minutes, then we're looking at an hour and a half.
Which is great. That's a perfect length for a movie. It's right around the hour and I think 23-minute mark, I think is what most people will sit and watch through a movie. Then you start getting to the Batman epics, which, by the way, have you seen the new Batman?
Yeah,
Let's just change the subject
I literally just watched it today.
Did you? What do you think?
On HBO Max.
Spoilers may be incoming, so if you guys have not seen the new Batman, it is available on HBO Max. It has been available in theaters for a little while, so I would highly encourage those of you who have not seen it to go take the time to go watch that film. It is pretty good, in my opinion. I liked it.
Did you watch it?
I did. I watched it in the theaters, actually. Jassel and I went to go see it in the theaters. There's still an interview. There's still a review pending. Try to put some finishing touches on that. I wanted to give it time to isolate. I will rewatch it with the review in mind, so that way I can basically remember my cadence and my order of how I wanted to approach the criticisms. But I don't have a lot of them, to be fair. I thought it was a great standalone movie.
It was.
Super enjoyed the character development. I thought it was more natural. I don't feel like I like the Joker's performances in Dark Knight because I felt like it was a natural evolution of that character as he existed versus how some of them try to give an evolution of his character as opposed to just this character exists and this is how he grows in the story. And I felt like that attention to detail was paid very heavily. A lot of attention was paid very heavily in that area with all the characters, all of them.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like
dramatically.
Well, I mean, you got the Riddler, who is kind of, but he wasn't on screen. We didn't get to see his character till the end.
But his presence was felt the entire film, which was perfect. That is, if you were going to have a masked type villain in an unknown quantity, that's how it should be. The story should be primarily focused on that. It is
a lot more realistic than a guy in green velour.
Agree 100%. And that was what I thought was best served in this film was its realism, its attention to detail, and the eerie probability that it could actually happen. We do have a comment over there. Not sure.
Addison Brienne says, "You guys rock." Thank you very much.
Thank you, Addie. Special shout out to my stepsis, Addison. Love you, sis. And obviously your husband as well, Mr. Dallas. He is absolutely cool, and he's a great lawn man and a fantastic bartender, and he made me a kick-ass beard comb. So shout out to y'all. Thank you very much. And Addison's a great bartender too, just as an aside, if anybody wondered. But yes, thank you, stepsis. Appreciate you. But yeah, Batman was a very good story, and it was eerie how realistic it could be. You could fathom somebody coming to all of these conclusions like the Riddler did and having these types of attitudes just based on erroneous information and just having a perception. And that was the key to it. It was all
I think it was
perception based.
very
It was great.
to skirt the edge, but not go there. I thought that it was a great way to illustrate and as a metaphor for what you see in society now.
100% agree.
You see one small part of a thing, and then you just automatically assume all of this other stuff.
Right. And you dig, and the more you dig, and it's also information presented out of context, right? Which is super important to the entirety of that film. Information presented to Batman, for instance, minor spoiler, information presented to Batman by a villain caused him to take that information completely out of context and caused him to almost spiral out of control until his center, his anchor, was able to explain everything that actually happened.
Yeah.
But just taken out of context, you would think that the subject of this information was the villain. You would think that this all was a result of this person, and also very much indicating just simple mistakes can cause an avalanche of problems. And if they're not handled appropriately, can be much, much worse. So I thought it did a very good job of how to approach information out of context and actually take the time to figure out what's being presented to you as opposed to just railing against it and reacting to it. And that's very important. And like you said, a close metaphor to how some people in society currently behave. And a lot of people won't hold up that dirty mirror to themselves. They won't see it that way. They'll think that this, very black and white, very bland, blasé terms, and just this is how it is, and this is how it's going to be, and this is what it meant, but the reality is always far more complex than your simple assertion of the situation. 100%. So I very much enjoyed the movie from a storytelling standpoint, character development. It was way too dark. I just 100% agree that it was supposed to be dark and gritty, which is great. But if I can't tell when people are fighting who's punching who, that's a problem for me. Like if I can't tell whose fist actually connected other than who
So
reacts,
what you're saying is it suffered from season 8 of Game of Thrones.
100%. Which, by the way, I finally finished the series. I finally just broke down and watched it. And I finally saw that episode.
And like, oh, your TV's not tuned right. Like,
right.
Really?
My brightness is almost like I actually watch the darker, like I play like horror survival games and things like that. And so my darkness is, I always turn it up higher than you're supposed to because I like to be able to see what I'm doing. Like I get it's atmospheric, but at the same time, it's like I don't like to just fumble around in the dark because
I like to know that there's something staring at me.
Right. Which I'm not opposed to like playing the game under a certain darkness setting. That's totally fine. And a lot of times once I figured out the game, I'll play it like that because I'm like, okay, this is how they intended to play it. Like Silent Hill is a great example of that. But I as a person, I'm not going to fumble around in the dark like that. So why in the world would I play a game where I'm fumbling around in the dark and there's no night vision? There's no, like, if I have any filter of light whatsoever, I can see what's in that corner. Period. I don't care how dark you want to make that. I can still see.
My eyes would have adjusted. So
right. Like somewhat. So I turn up the darkness just enough to be able to make out like the minutia of what's happening versus the overall, here's this bright light in front of your face. Like, see if I do this, say like you can change the lighting. Right. That's pretty much what I do. I just put my hand in front of the screen. I'm just kidding. I cover my eyes. It's too scary. I don't want to watch. But yeah, so I think it was just
put a towel on your head that way.
A tad too dark.
Put a towel over your head that way. If you can't see it, they can't see you.
That's right. Put a blanket over my face. You can't get me through my special blanket fort. Fort kick ass.
Kick ass.
Kick ass, guys. But yeah, so very much enjoyed the movie. So what were your thoughts? Or like, where are you at on it? Obviously, you heard my breakdown.
I had to I started to watch it yesterday and or last night, and then I laid down to go to sleep. I actually, rather than just letting it play, I consciously turned it off and restarted it.
You are the 5th person that I have talked to who's watched this movie that has watched it in installments. I'm not joking.
I started it at 2:00 in the morning and laid down to go to because I totally spaced it.
It was 2 a.m.
Well, that and I saw the ad. And I was like, oh, it's on. So I went to go do whatever. At first, I started watching it on my computer, and then I got done playing the game I was playing.
Right.
So I hit pause. I shut it off. I went to the computer or to the TV, started it up there, watched about 20 minutes of it, and started realizing I was doing
the doze off. Yeah.
So
it does start slow. I'll give it that, but it is
paused,
a slow burn.
and then I backtracked where I was dozing off and got it off. But I don't know. There's a few things that are. I don't know how to explain it. It was a decent movie.
Mm-hmm.
I probably will watch it again.
Right.
Especially since I watched it in two, rather than because it's like almost a 3-hour movie.
Dang near. I think it's 2:43. I think is what the clock time comes in on it. I was like, that's a long movie.
It was like 190 some minutes or something like that.
Bear with me.
And so I want to try to watch it all together and watch it when I'm not playing a video game or not like half asleep.
You want to give it your full attention.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But there was just something that just wasn't quite catching me. I have more questions about the new Star Trek that
I haven't watched any of that, so
because one of the it's Star Trek strange voyage or whatever.
There, I was gonna say that's what we have. I've heard a lot of things about the new Star Trek, but I haven't seen it. As we just sit in abject silence.
Strange New Worlds.
I swear to God, like we have had this conversation so many times about not doing that, and I will say that we do a really good job of not having dead air.
Right, and it might be a couple seconds, but Strange New World, Strange New Worlds,
right.
It was actually a really good Star Trek thing. Like a lot of people don't like Discovery.
I did not like Discovery. I tried.
People are like, it's more.
In fairness, I'm not a Trekkie at all. Like I enjoy the original series. I do enjoy Next Generation. I've watched all of Deep Space Nine. Kind of trailed off when was it Enterprise? I think was the one after that.
Yeah.
No, there wasn't.
I liked Enterprise. This is the last season.
Which one had Enterprise? Was that Bakula? Was Enterprise back? Okay, no, I didn't watch any of that one.
I liked that one.
Discovery was the one with Jane, right?
Star
Trek Discovery with
Voyager.
Voyager, that's the one I'm thinking of. I watched some of Voyager, couldn't really get into it.
Discovery is the one that's only on the Paramount Plus.
Okay, that one I haven't watched any of either. So Enterprise and Discovery I haven't seen any of.
And like Picard is on its second season, but that's more like I was talking to Sonny about it.
I watched any of Picard.
It's more nostalgia fan stuff. Like, hey, here's your favorite
characters,
captain, and here's gotcha. How he's dealing with old age and senility and his body breaking down.
Which they totally addressed that in the movies. So I don't. They already had that with Kirk being retired on a planet, being like, "No, I'm cool." Was it Undiscovered Country? I think is where he was.
Yeah,
and he's just like, "I'm fine. Leave me alone. I'm retired. Go away." I was saving the galaxy when you were, still in diapers. Like, leave me alone.
But so I mean, I liked the Picard. I liked the stuff you got to see. Q and because he came back for the second season.
Nice.
And, and the same actor. You see him on screen as himself, and he goes, "Oh, let me catch up," and then they stopped de-aging him, so like he's back to his normal.
That's awesome. See, it is like this little things like that I'd appreciate because I liked the character Q. A lot of people don't. I always thought he was funny,
but it definitely ended on a tug on the heartstrings, and you're like, "Oh, goddamn you bastards." But so that was good, and I was worried about Strange New Worlds, and so is Sunny.
That's animated, right?
No, that's Below Decks.
Below Decks.
This is the one Pike.
Okay.
Before it's handed off to Kirk, so it's in that
now, is this Pike the male or Pike the female?
There was only Pike the male that I'm aware of.
Oh no. Kirk's mother. That was the original lore. It was Kirk's mother who was the captain, and she died, right?
No, in the
original
TOS, very first pilot had Christopher Pike as the thing,
the captain,
and a female number 1, and all this other stuff.
And I think it was Kirk's mom. I think that it was supposed to be one of those was Kirk's mom.
And then something happened. That he didn't test well, so they replaced him with Shatner and retooled the stuff. So like they later went back to show that he was in some horrible accident and like the head in the with the little box and the blinky lights.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which they kind of played around with and whatnot, and it's playing into.
Yeah, I'm really rusty on my Trek lore. So
he's reading into. He's like he got a glimpse of his future, and now he's dealing.
I'm being shouted at. I'm sure in the comments right now, people are probably like, Star Trek.
But
shut up, fanboys.
It's definitely better than I thought. Other than it caught my attention that the security officer's name is Noonien Singh.
You have to explain that importance because I don't get it.
Khan, Khan.
Okay.
Nice. There's also the name of the guy who was the eugenics person who started that whole thing, and then switched over and he worked with androids and ended up making data and all of them. So somehow,
so not responsible for Bishop.
Somehow, some way, sometime, there is a line of Noonien Singhs that produced this person, and I was like, "Oh!" My first question, as soon as I saw it, I texted him. I was like, "So they're allowing genetically enhanced eugenics individuals on the thing?" And he's like, "No, I didn't. What did I? what did I miss? What did I miss?" So I sent in the thing, and he was like, I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. But it was
yes.
That was my only question.
But only the good ones.
That was my only question about because Pike took over. Pike did his stuff. Speaking of the leadership that Pike has done on this new episode of Strange New Worlds,
tell us about it.
Check out Starship Leadership Academy. It's actually at Starfleet Leadership.academy. It's a leadership program.
What was that? Starfleet Leadership.academy?
Yes.
Sounds easy.
It's a leadership academy type stuff that goes over the different things that you need and the different ideas to help you become a better leader, but it couches it in the framework of Star Trek.
Very cool.
So it uses Star Trek examples and whatnot to help you understand these terms and
it uses the context of the show to help you become a better leader, better public speaker, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yep.
So that is definitely worth a look at Starfleet Leadership.academy.
Yep.
Make sure you go check them out, and they are proud sponsors of the show, and we very much appreciate them. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
So if you have anything in your life that you need to work on, maybe some public speaking, maybe you want to become a better manager, maybe you just want to rule the world, that would be the best place to go. Starfleet Leadership.academy for all of your leadership needs. Cue commercial. Go. Oh, no, we don't have that. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
So I figured that segue would
that was actually a really good segue.
Yeah,
100%. We've been working on that. We've been doing really good. Very proud of that segue. Speaking of people falling off a cliff, I do want to talk a little bit about a new game that I was tuned into. I was checking out some new game release, things like that, and I actually have this article from Games Radar. Games Radar is talking about this new video game called Meat Light. Meat Light, not M-E-A-T, it's M-E-E-T. And they are calling it the perfect combination of Valheim and Stardew Valley. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Valheim, Valheim is a construction survival type simulator where you run around basically as a Nord and you conquer the landscape, you conquer the animals, you have to figure out exactly what's going on with this particular world.
You build a base and
build all kinds of crazy stuff.
I have like 37 houses on different continents. And
So the official title for it is called Meat, Light, and the Secrets of the Universe. It's an indie RPG, which I'm always in tune with those, and I always love to talk about them. It is set to launch in 2023. It combines crafting and 3D exploration of games like Valheim with the characters and farming of games like Stardew Valley, which, if you are a fan of Stardew Valley, then this sounds right up your particular alley. You play Anna, a young woman who inherits a mountain forge from her great uncle. You will be building houses, tasked with forging items, gathering materials, building a farm. And then at night, you actually go to the spirit world, and that's where you will discover the secrets of the universe. And you actually become a different form, and it sounds really, really freaking cool. There are NPC villagers who give you quests, of course, standard typical RPG stuff, level up systems, trading system. It does appear as though this will be multiplayer, so it actually looks really pretty so far. Their alpha stage looks incredibly gorgeous, and it does combine Stardew Valley with that type of style, but in a 3D landscape. So very much think of like Animal Crossing but less bulky cartoon characters, more fleshed out.
See, what kills me about that,
Secret of Mana type.
What kills me about that is you have the crafting aspect of it, where you can build your house and build all of this stuff, and you have your own place, right?
Mm-hmm.
That has been a thing that's been hitting all of the new MMOs of sort. Like, either you can buy your own place and stock it the way you want, which like New World, or you can build your own, like Valheim and all of those. The one that I got, that Icarus.
I was just about to say, I was running through the titles you have. Icarus.
I have a bunch. But
yeah, just a few. Rust. That's actually another good one.
Yeah.
I mean, even 7 Days to Die, which is a zombie survival game, tasks you with building a base to
even
survive onslaught.
Fallout. So you got like the Fallout 76 and Fallout 4.
Yeah.
You're able to do all of that stuff.
Which is what got you lost for days, was Fallout 4's building system. And you're like, I don't think I've done any of the story.
Yeah, no.
It's
I did that with 76 as well. Like, I finally started playing the
actual
game.
Story. Well, there's it's that old graphic, the cartoon where it's you emerge from the vault, your son is kidnapped. Fallout 4, your son is kidnapped, right? And it's like you find your robot buddy, and he's like, Sean's been kidnapped, and you're like, oh, I'll go find him. And you're like, how do I get started? Well, first we need to build this base. And you're like, okay, perfect. Right. And then it says 6 months later, and like this is like this giant fortress with all these guns and stuff on it, and it's the robot. And he's like, aren't you gonna find Sean? And then he yells back, he's like, who's Sean? Because it's true. Like, you get wrapped up in those building features, and you just do not care.
And like with 76, you have the ability to buy use the points that you accrue to just by finishing quests and quest lines, whatever. You turn around and buy a whole. Oh, well, I want a redwood barn, and I want this farmhouse look.
Yeah, and as you play the game, you unlock more of the features and the camp items.
Yeah, so right now,
decorate.
Right now, it's funny because I have like a full-on farmhouse with a red barn, and then you go down into the tunnel, and there's a mine shaft entrance there. So you go down into that. And in the mine shaft you can go even further down into the vault where I've just layered everything.
Yeah, and that's the coolest thing about that is a lot of these games have figured out, like 76, like Stardew Valley, like Valheim, like 7 Days to Die. People enjoy being able to customize their living space in games. Icarus, even.
What I was getting ready to where I was going. Thanks for pulling me back from that.
That's okay. We were about to drop down the 76 hole again. I was like, nope, can't do that like 9 shows in a row.
Dropping down the Blizzard hole just a little bit is one of the things that everybody's been asking for, is player housing
in WoW.
Yeah,
and
they had garrisons and whatnot, but they only had it for pretty much like the orcs or the humans.
And they I think they did something like guild halls and stuff like that too, right? Where you could decorate the guild halls.
Not so much. They did have that's what people are like. If you can't give us individual housing, give us guild housing.
Yeah,
something that we can go in. There's another MMO.
I mean, New World
guild housing.
Yeah, New World allows you to do that. Like, you can customize the guild houses and stuff like that, and the banners, and that. I think that's something cool. I mean,
but they're like, well, that would take up a raid tier, that would do this and that would do that, and like we are probably 2 expansions away from being able to get that. But there's people that are like, but we want it, like we're interested in doing it. There's nobody stopping it. There's nobody talking of, trying to shut it down, but there's probably 2 expansions. And I'm like, where are you going to be able to go?
Right.
We have literally, unless you do a whole nother kata event thing where the world gets sundered and you get to revamp the world.
Right.
You have now been with vanilla exploring the world, Burning Crusade, you go Outlands. We've been to Draenei.
Yeah, and that's the thing with a game like WoW being already as fully established as it is and almost 20 years old at this. Actually, I think it is 20 years old, isn't it? I mean, was it 2002 when WoW came out? 2004?
20 years, something
yeah,
like that.
We're really close to 20 years on this game. So the fact that the game still runs is a testament to Blizzard, and I'm giving them their credit. It's a testament to Blizzard, like literally trying to keep the game going. But
WoW is 18 years old.
18 years old, yeah. So 2004. So yeah, like I said,
WoW
I knew it was
could
getting up
vote
there.
legally.
Oh wow, that's crazy. That's scary. I don't want WoW to vote. I've seen what Blizzard does when it has power.
Well, I was just saying I've seen what the Barons chat is, and I don't want.
Yeah, no, I don't want those people voting either.
But so you've been to all of these places. We've been to the afterlife and redid the after, like did all of that stuff and whatnot. Now we're back and the dragons are awakened. There's not, I don't know if there's another couple expansions left, because we were calling for just WoW 2.
Hold on.
WoW 2.0.
What about the Underworld? Have we done the Underworld yet?
Yeah, that's the Shadowlands.
The Shadowlands, okay.
Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, let's think about this logically.
We have Kung Fu Panda and How to Train Your Dragon.
In a world that has in a world with infinite tiers. There's literally infinite tiers. I mean, you could go to let's say Purgatory.
They already did that. That was part of the Shadowlands. Like all of the afterlife.
Okay, cool.
Because that literally, they when you play
oh my god, no! I thought of it.
Song.
Okay, listen, Blizzard. If you're paying attention to me, if you're paying any bit of attention to me whatsoever, listen to my words. The Earth plane. You could literally have it where it's all stages in the continents, and you could literally just release the Earth realm, and that's where everybody can build their houses. There you go. Literally the Earth realm. You will just be meta as fuck. Just make it the Earth realm where there's literally nobody has.
Well, you have like Earth 2 and all of those.
I mean, it's your game. Do what you want with it. It's not like the Earth is a copyrighted image,
right?
It's copyrighted by Earth. Are you an Earthling? You have rights to the image. Just saying. I mean, hell, you could even take something like just the United States. You can even just take just the United States and literally just pop it up there. And that's the new realm, and that is where everybody can do their stuff. And honestly, you could even expand it and say that this world has existed above this world the whole time, but you could never see it because the sciences of the new world were keeping this land hidden, and it was a special place, and blah blah blah, and boom,
well,
there you go. Just done. Storyline done. Done.
They could do something like that.
Cash the check. No, shut up. Cash the check.
At the end of Legion, you fly up into a spaceship thing with the Titans up there, and you watch like Sargeras come down and with his 50,000 story sword and plunged into the heart of Azeroth.
See,
and so you already see like
the sphere of the world.
Yeah. Azeroth is a Titan that's coming to, like, it's awakening to become a Titan or whatever.
No, I'm totally but that's what I'm saying. Like this is easily doable.
I think the only thing that we could do is like literally Azeroth awakens a la Eternals.
Okay.
And the Titan erupts out and destroys the thing and then
resets the world.
Yeah, we go back to
yeah, but I hate kata events. Kata events are lame.
WoW 2.
I hate kata events. I really do. To be completely honest with you, I hate them. And honestly, I feel like the best thing that Warcraft could do is, if it wants to stay with an MMO type style, is server base it, procedurally generated servers. procedurally generated servers would be the coolest thing ever to happen to WoW because it would be different for every single player in every single different server. It'd be
Well,
so
I mean,
cool.
that's.
I'm just saying, look, we've got the technology to literally take a rocket into space
but the
and
whole
then
point
drop
of WoW,
it down on a small, tiny platform.
the whole point of WoW is that everybody exists in the same world and they can help each other.
Elon, get on it. Let's go.
So like,
no, that's what I'm saying. But it's server based. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, like it is server based.
No, but that's what I'm getting at. Is each server is procedurally generated, and when you create a new character on a new server, it's a totally different experience. So if you want to start over, you get a different world. It's not the same. Oh, I think it would be cool. I think it would be super cool. I mean, I understand that the inherent problems with that, but can you imagine that game would last forever because no one could ever map it.
Well, no, it would be one of those that, okay, I'm on my fourth alt I'm trying to, because I play pretty much solo, maybe with one or two people when I play. And that's like, okay, I need to jump off, grab my other guy who does this crafting thing. And if that crafting guy is completely different or whatever, it would just, I don't know.
I get what you're saying. It would be a unique experience, though. Some
games it lends itself to. I don't see.
I think Warcraft would be fine because in the old school style RTS Warcraft, which I wouldn't mind if they released another RTS Warcraft because I thought those were the best games anyway.
I love those.
That's my opinion, of course. I know I'm way. Are you still touching me? I know I'm way outnumbered by the amount of people who love WoW. I get that. That's fine. But if you do,
most of us like the RTS side of it. And that's
the RTS version wasn't procedurally generated until you played custom maps,
right?
And that's all I'm asking for. Give us procedurally generated custom maps. Where
I can see that as an RTS.
That would be dope. Like that would just be tremendously amazing. Now, I could see the problems with it, like right out of the gate. But I don't know. I think that's something that's lacking from everybody wants to make these giant open world games, and I'm totally fine with that. But there are so many problems with some of these open world games. I mean, for instance, like Fallout is technically an open world game, and it's beautiful. But we're talking about maybe 500 occurrences throughout the entire map. Like there might be 500 things for you to do. And that's pretty much it.
Right.
It becomes the same experience after you've been playing it for as long as I have. It's the same experience. I played at this point.
76 is more the WoW thing,
right?
Or more the MMO is the MMO side because you have other people,
right?
And they have events that they do,
which is
change
fine,
up and do whatever,
which is totally fine.
Which is how WoW has survived so long. They've staggered, like, okay, we're going to open a new raid with this expansion,
right?
And we're going to take this patch update and add these.
I think that 76's major benefit could come from opening up different areas, 1, and 2, just updating their weapons catalog to have something different, granting us new
aliens perks. And
but they still run on the same perks, which means that they're still limited to a specific thing. But like giving us new perks, giving us new stuff to try out, to allow us a greater expansion. Because right now there's basically 3 power level classes, and that's pretty much all you have. There's no point in running the other stuff because it's so underpowered and so useless. They've got so many weapons in that game, they're just garbage. They're literal garbage piles. You used to take a meat hook, right? And you could one-shot the Scorch Beast Queen with a meat hook with the proper build. It was so stupid, but it was so funny to watch. Somebody run up, they jump up in the air with a jetpack, and then they would slam down on the Scorch Beast Queen with a meat hook, and she would die. One shot, dead, with a freaking meat hook. And it was hilarious. And we would laugh, and we'd be like, okay, you're a jerk for doing that because we all wanted to loot her. But that was really funny. Thank you. Thank you for showing us that because it was stupid and funny. Now it's just like, well, we have to nerf it because a couple of players got super OP. Like, who cares? Go if you don't want that, get off the server. Just switch servers. It's not that hard.
I mean, it's not like all you have to do is like back out and come back in, and you're in a new
server. You're a different server, right? But and not to just that's not just a 76 problem. That's a lot of players' problem. That's a lot of games problems. But the players
want to be the best
You're always going to have power gamers, no matter what game it is.
That is why WoW got away from the because they had skill trees, and you can literally map out and change.
Which they're bringing back, I think, for the dragon the dragon expansion, which I can't remember what it's called.
Dragonflight.
Dragonflight. Thank you.
But like Sonny said, when like Vanilla and Burning Crusade, he could make an actual like D&D style paladin.
Yeah.
By picking the right stuff and getting the right things. And because they said, well, everybody just goes and gets the same build off the websites and whatnot. We're just going to move away from that and streamline it so people don't have to.
I think we're 76 specifically, just 'cause I like using this as an example because there's a lot of room for improvement that I can see, but this is something I think could fall across all boards. And I think the primary problem with 76 is there is basically zero character growth in that game. Like none. Your character just like you level up and there's no character growth. You don't really become anybody. There's no consequences for your actions type of style game. And I hate that. I get it. And an MMO, it's difficult to play out your consequences for your game while you're on a server with somebody who has completely different choices. So it's different. And I get that. But I think where 76 could really excel is move beyond the vault and literally just add an expansion to the game where if you want to start from the vault, you can. But if you don't want to start from the vault,
you can actually
be something else.
Like a survivor or
be a survivor, a ghoul, a super mutant. They've shown that super mutants can be totally cognizant and 100% capable of, but like just adding just those few things, be a scorched survivor, because the cure is out, right? To be a scorched survivor and you start at level 1, standard NPC, or start as a raider. And you find your way moving away from the raiders and just introducing some new stories based on that. You're a survivor from Foundation, or you're a Brotherhood of Steel runaway. All kinds of different character classes that you could create from that. Enclave. Enclave is technically all robots, so that wouldn't work. But a robot.
There you
go. But no, just things like that could dramatically improve the playability of a game. And it's not just a 76 thing. This is a thing that I think Warcraft does very well, and that you can customize a character and you can play it however you want. And I think that's cool. And I think that's a big part of why the game is so successful versus a game like 76, which struggles with certain things, because to keep it relevant, they have to introduce things to the game that cause difficulty to existing players. It just has to happen in order to accommodate the change. And versus a game like Warcraft where it's just inherent in the game and that's how you play it. Valheim is a good example of this. Not a lot of customization of Valheim, but the game by itself offers an endless way to play.
Right.
If you want to be an archer, you can be an archer. If you want to be a swordsman, you can be. If you want to use an axe, you can use an axe. I wouldn't, but
well, it's also
you want to be a shield warrior? You want to be a shield maiden? Go for
it. The community has stepped up and actually added RPG elements into it with the mod,
and it looks great.
And that's how I play now. Is like I'm a ranger, ranger.
Yeah,
like
you put the mod on it; it works really great. And this is no knock on Iron Gate Studios. I mean, for crying out loud, a small studio, and they've pumped out one of the best games I've played in the last decade, 100% hands down. It is fun to play Valheim. And they've got new stuff coming out for Valheim. They finally started fleshing out the Mistlands. They are in beta right now, and it looks so good. I cannot wait for this to release so I can finally jump back into playing it because I want my new bosses. Hearth and Home was great. Give me some new bosses to murder. Give me some new ways to murder them.
With Hearth and Home, right before that they released the Firelands.
Yeah.
So have you gone and did all the Firelands?
No, because I'm waiting for Slains. I'm literally just waiting for Mistlands to come out.
That's how you can, if you can get there, you can get your Spurtling cores everywhere.
Yeah, because I never had a problem with those anyway. Like
all of those
at
monsters,
all.
like every time you kill something, it drops.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I used to just go to this. I spent so much time in the swamp. That was my favorite biome. Not because it was the most fun, but those were all the goodies were. Mm-hmm. The mountains and in the swamp were the best place to collect items. I had so much fun. I have got like 15 or 16 bases.
Wasn't the last thing because they were putting something up that had to do with like the mountains and the mountain zones, and
Yeah. I was wondering. I was like, this been sorry guys. I just realized that mic had been clicking the entire time. No more touching the desk.
But what didn't one of them have to deal with like giving you more stuff to do in the mountain zones? And
yeah. Hearth and Home started allowing there was some of the material that you could get there actually had more use than just like one thing. So like iron had more use now. Silver, and then there's the other one. The dragon tears actually do stuff. So like there's actually purpose.
Then you can actually do crystals or whatnot.
Right, and you could actually so you can like make different.
You make like different, clear walls and
what's the word I'm looking at? Different recipes. So yeah, but yeah. So I don't know. It's my general criticism with a lot of games is, you make this ginormous game and it's horrible, but it's still fun. Like, I don't know, give us more stuff to do or allow us the freedom to actually play an open world game the way we want to play it, not just pigeonhole us into playing it a certain way. So
the
that's
problem,
my criticism. So
the problem always stems down to is I get lost.
Which I get that.
I get lost in the building.
I had another game I wanted to talk about, but I think we're running out of time. So we've actually been going for a while. A great show. I had a good time. Just a reminder for everybody, if you have not already, pardon me, make sure you guys go, bad smack. Make sure you guys go to the blackbookmovie.com. You can pick up your copy of the Black Book movie on Blu-ray or DVD. I'm in that film as well. It's an award-winning film, so I can actually say that I am an award-winning film. But you guys can check that out. You can also check out the Black Book written by Mr. Topher and others himself, Angelica R. Hill, Stuart Wallen, Joe Herbert, all absolutely contributed to a fantastic novel. And if you do enjoy the sound of my silky, smooth, seductive voice, you can pick up the Audible for that book as well. So that way I can lull you to sleep every single night with tales of horror and gore. But if you want to check that out, again, that website is blackbookmovie.com. If you want to pick up the comic, make sure you go to theblackbookcomic.com where you can find your very own copy for sale right now. I think it's $3.99. Am I right, Chris? $5.99. Excuse me. My bad, giving out the wrong date. But it is really, really cool. Do you have it? I thought we had a copy of it sitting up here. Do we not?
Not up here.
God dang it. Okay, I was going to show it. I was going to show it off and be like, here it is. But we do have the Black Book comic. You guys can check that out. It's theblackbookcomic.com. It follows the tale of the Black Book and the bookseller. And it follows the story of Kira and all of her misadventures with finding the book. She's an innocent soul. It is actually really incredible. The artwork is very amazing. And it was written, of course, by Mr. Topher Chambers himself. So the style is going to be good. And then, as always, special thanks to our sponsor, Rutledge Productions. You guys are incredible. Very much had a great time working with you this past weekend. And again, my apologies to the Rutledge crew, the film, and all those guys that worked so hard to make this project possible. You guys are incredible. Huge, huge shout out to you guys. That's pretty much it from me. If you guys want to check out Rutledge Productions, go to rutledgeproductions.com, RUTLEDGE productions.com. And you can find out more information about who we associate with. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, like and subscribe. Consider becoming a member. I think that's it. Yeah, I was going to have that nice little bit of silence right there to lull it all in. As always, you guys, I keep saying as always, I need to quit doing that. As always, I keep saying as always. You guys have been a fantastic audience. We very much appreciate your contributions to the chat. We appreciate your comments and your likes. You guys are always amazing. You make this possible. We thank you very, very much from the bottom of our dorky little hearts. May the dork be with you. I have been Crazy Chris.
I am Topher.
We will see you next week. Peace. You've been listening to the GPR podcast, where two old guys talk about old. Talk about new games, movies, most things geeky, and try not to poop in their diapers while they're talking. Thanks for listening to the show. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on Twitter at Free Geek Radio, on Facebook and Instagram at Geek Public Radio, and the website geekpublicradio.com. We'll see you next time.